in our Adobe Photoshop. I'm currently using Adobe Photoshop 2020, but you can use earlier versions of this software because the tools that we will be using are also available on the earlier versions of Photoshop. So the first thing you want to do is open your reference file. Since mine is already open, I don't need to do the commands, but I'm still going to teach you how. This is for complete beginners after all. So you need to do to open your file is Control O and select the file, the reference file or the subject. Now that you have opened the subject or the reference file, you should duplicate the layer by pressing Ctrl J, or for the Mac, Command J. Now, this is where the part on making the vexel or vector art comes. The first step that we're going to do is to trace the head, specifically the face, I mean. All you need to do is zoom in and select the pen tool on the toolbar here inside. Now that you have selected your pen tool, all we need to do is to trace the face of our subject. In this case, I'm using a simple subject, not much detail going on. Here we trace using the pen tool. Don't forget to bend the pen tool to be accurate with your shapes. Trace the ears, down to the jaw, the neck, pretty much everything about the head except the hair. We will be tracing the hair after this. Make sure to get the shape. Now that we are done tracing the shapes or the shape of the face of our subject or reference file, we have connected all the points using the pen tool. All we need to do is press Ctrl Enter and duplicate the layer. Now we have a layer for the face. Next, we will color this layer. If you want to be accurate with your color, press the eyedrop tool here in the toolbar. Press the area of the face where there is balance between dark and light. Go to the color tab here on this side. Copy the color code. Go to select the layer, the layer of the face, and choose FX, color overlay, and paste the color code. Now we have the skin tone for our face, the color of our face. Next, what you want to do is to trace the hair. Same method in tracing the face. You just trace the shape of the hair. Like that, using the pen tool. It's the hair, the point of the hair. After you trace the shape of the hair, same method, Control Enter. When you have connected the points, Control Enter. Duplicate the layer of the hair. Make sure that the layer of the hair is behind the layer of the face, so that it will not be interfering with the layers and it will not mess up the results. Now the color of the hair, same method. Choose the eyedrop tool. Select the area of the hair where there are balance between light and dark. Go to the color tab. Copy the color code. Go to the layer of the hair. Go to FX and paste the color of the hair. Now we have our head. Next, we will trace the shirt or the upper torso of the bust of the subject. in this case. Same process with now back to the subject. Same process with the tracing the hair in the face. You trace the shape of the bust in this case, and connect the points. Control Enter. Control. Make sure that you select the duplicated layer of the subject to make sure that it's behind both of the first two layers so that it will not interfere and will not mess up the result. Same process, guys. Uh, I drop tool for the color, go to the color tab, copy the color code, go select the layer for the bust or the shirt. Since this shirt is color gray, our color should be gray also. There we have it. We already have all three major parts of the subject. Now what you want to do with these three layers is either you group them or you merge them. I suggest that you group them so that if you want to make any changes, you can make changes within these three layers. Now to group the layers, you need to press Ctrl and click each layer. And press Ctrl G or Command G for the Mac. Now we have our group. Let's name this group base, just because it will be the base of all the details that we're going to have. Now that we have the base group, let's trace. Let's go to the layer of the face. Let's reduce the opacity to let's disable the layer for the hair first because it's interfering. Same with the layer of the bust. Let's reduce the opacity of the face layer somewhat between 40 to 50. 40 is in the somewhat the perfect mix for that, so that we will not be we will be tracing the parts of the face more accurately, but still we have the skin tone of the subject. Now what I usually do is I trace first the eyebrows. So same process with tracing the layers, guys. Use the pen tool, take the shape, trace the shape of the eyebrows. Control and after you have done that, after you have traced, connect the points. Control Enter, Control J, duplicate the layer. It's all the same process. For in this case, we don't. If you want to make the color of your eyebrows accurate, you just do the same. I drop tool. Color overlay. Select the layer of the eyebrow, color overlay. In this case, I want to make it darker since it's the eyebrows. I'll copy this for the other eyebrow and increase the opacity of the eyebrow. Now we trace the eyes. First, we trace the darker part of the eye, eyelids, the side of the eyes. Now what you want to do is same thing. Trace it with pen tool. Bend your pen tool according to shape, just like that. I have no doubt that you will master this in a few days if you keep on practicing, guys. Same method. I usually color these dark parts black. Increase the opacity. Then go to the main part of the eye, the white part here. Trace it, same process. Duplicate it. So now after we trace the white part of the eye, we will be tracing the eyeball. Since the color of the eye of our subject is hazel, we will choose hazel. Oh, it's brown, not hazel. Alright, there it is, it's brown. Now you might see that there are those light parts uh, that somewhat the reflection of the light. That's what we call highlights. So what we need to do is um, disable the white part of the eye first and reduce the opacity of the eyeball layer, and trace the white part, the reflection of the light. Color it white, of course. Increase the opacity to 100. Enable the white part layer, increase to 100. And there we go, we already have the eyes, the other eye. Now we need to work on the left eye of the subject. Same process with the eyebrows. Sorry. Now we would want the both of the obviously we would want the eyebrows to be same color. So choose the eyedrop tool, choose the other eyebrow, the finished eyebrow, copy the color code, go to the layer of the newly created eyebrow and go to the color overlay and copy the color. That's it. Increase the opacity to 100 and you're done with the left eyebrow. Now same process with the eyes, trace the dark part of the eye. Color it black, increase the opacity to 100. Same process guys, and this once you are familiar with how the pen tool works, it would be easy for you. Trace the white part of the eye. Oops, sorry. Color it white. Trace the eyeball. Color it brown. Copy the color from the other eye, the finished eye. Paste the color code on the left eye. Copy the highlight, trace the highlight of that. If there are no highlights, you can create one. Color it white. Increase the opacity to 100. Now you see here that some parts of this eye has not yet, the layer for the eyeball did not reach some part of the white part of the eye. So what we need to do is select the layer of the eyeball. It will automatically, for Adobe CC users, it will be automatically be the color of the layer, the brush. Select the brush tool here and color the parts that has not been reached by the color of the eyeball. There you have it. Now we are finished with the eyes. Now for the nose. Now what I do with the nose is I only trace the nostrils. You might ask why. We will be adding the details later, and you will soon later why. Same process. Use the pen tool to trace the nostrils. Color it black. Now for the nostrils and for other holes in the face, aside from eyes, you need to reduce the opacity. It will yield better results that way. Oops. Duplicate the layer from the face, again from the face, not from the subject layer. And we have our nostrils. Now we trace our mouth. Trace the shape of the mouth here. And see, I don't really use, when I color the lips, I don't really use the eyedrop tool. I use my own judgment for coloring the lips. So usually the color of the lips is like pinkish. So we choose pink here. And the wrinkle under the mouth, this one, we'll trace that. We're pretty much tracing and duplicating all the basic features of a face here. And there you go, we have a face. Now we will trace the ears. This would be easy. All we need to do is the same. Trace the ear, the detail here near the earlobes. Or what it's called. Okay guys, take note, usually I use 40% opacity for the nostrils and the ears, so that it would look better in results. But you can experiment with opacities later on after we master this. Now we go to the other ear. Same process. Trace the details. Color it black with a 40% opacity. Sorry about that. And we're pretty much almost done here. Now for the next detail, we'll be tracing this jaw, or jawline here, just to distinguish the neck and the head. Oops. Sorry about that. Now we are almost done. Increase the opacity of the face. Enable the layer of the hair and the layer of the bust. Now what we need to do is add other details such as shadows to complete this project. Now duplicate the duplicated layer, put it above, duplicate the subject layer, and put it above the group, the layer of the group. Now what we need to do here is click the image the image button here. Sorry. Choose adjustments and choose threshold. This will be this will determine where we should trace the shadows for this subject. Now choose the perfect amount of threshold level. I choose 160 here. Now reduce the opacity of this layer, the threshold layer. Now let's trace the shadows. You don't really need to trace the jagged lines of the shadows. Although if you want to be more accurate, you can, but you don't really need to. All you need to do is to trace the shape of the shadows. Like that. The shadow up here in the face. There. Our first shadow. Same, after you connected the points, Control Enter, duplicate the shadow layer. Now take note, if you duplicate the shadow layer, always duplicate from the layer of the face, which is in our group, the base group. So find it, duplicate from it, go to Effects, Color Overlay, and color it black. Reduce the opacity to 20. Let's make it light shadow. See, let's disable the threshold layer first to see. Oh yeah, it's looking pretty good. But we still have another shadows left, so let's go trace it. Now same process, Turorial, trace that shadow, duplicate it from the face layer, color it black, reduce the opacity to 20. And here we go. We still have a little more shadows left, so let's trace it. Shadow in the forehead, the final major shadow shape. Trace it from the face layer, duplicate it, color it black, and we're almost done. set it to 20, and you're done. And we're almost done here, guys. So what we need to do is, if you don't want to make any changes any longer, let's just merge the group. Merge. Right click the base group and let's merge. Unless if you don't want any changes to do about the result. If you don't, let's just merge it. Click the group, right click the group, and choose merge group. And then we're almost done. Let's change the color of the subject layer to whatever color you want. I choose color gray, color some reddish brown. Add some fancy detail here to our merged group, our result. This part is completely optional, but I would like to add this for, you know, for just fancy effects. I add strokes, and there we have it. We are already done with the basic vector voxel art.